What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Healthy Choices Management. Ticker is HCMC. It's been quite a while since I've given an HCMC update, so I want to go over some of the data points, just some of the latest updates, and everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So when it comes down to HCMC, there's two tweets that I do want to talk on. That's different mentalities, but both very much valid. So one of which is right here. So TB does say HCMC is expanding the business model and waiting on patent court case to their advantage. Well worth a lot of play for me at this price. Do your own due diligence, and that is completely key. Make sure you guys always do your own due diligence no matter what. But based on this tweet right here, they are saying that the court case is going to be in their advantage and technically that they are expanding their business model, which based on their earnings, yeah, it does show some expansion, some improvements, but they are very riddled with red flags. So as far as this, yes, I feel like it's a fairly good lot of play. One key about this though is the price that you get in. 1 year ago, if I was saying that, you know what, it can get down to 0001, people would be screaming. People would be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I want to buy at 0001. But since then, it has a new 52-week and all-time low. I think this is the low that any OTC company can get to. So once again, it all depends on what price you can get. I personally feel buying at 0001 is not advantageous. And the reason why there was a spike up 9,900% is because there was a update coming from Philip Morris. And this was more against for the whole appeal. So this is their opening statement. And they're just, once again, just bashing the whole Pat 170, trying to invalidate that and just criticizing HCMC's play on words in the past. So we're kind of back at square one. As far as me reading through this, there wasn't really anything that stood out to me that is different from before. They're just more so regurgitating in a different format what they have previously stated. So once again, it is a fairly good update, but if you are investing in HCMC, you hands down are just investing in now that lawsuit. Because as I have stated, technically that whole spinoff, which I do have an issue in among itself about, but that whole spinoff is going to be taking all of the main assets. So going over here, so this is their main focuses. So there's the intellectual properties, the grocery chain, the vitamin store, and the wellness center. Majority, like I said, is going to that new spinoff. So HCWC, so the wellness center, and also the grocery chain. Grocery chain, based on their earnings, is improving. So of course, that's a fairly good thing. But the cash is definitely something you need to watch for. And yeah, based on their earnings as well, this is another earnings that they did not buy back any shares. And that was one thing that I've been really watching very closely about, because based on this, their 4-point plan that came out in August of 2022, it does say one of four things: a buyback up to $5 million of HCMC common stock. And I kind of fell for the play on words where it says up to. So technically they don't have to do anything. So it kind of sucks. But they were very fast to do the equity capital raise. I think it was of 13.5 million. So once again, that's kind of where things are at. The second tweet I do want to talk on is HCMC dead? And I guess I've kind of already answered this in essence. But when it comes down to HCMC, if you, for instance, are still holding and you got the ex-dividend date, meaning that you did hold it, I think it was as of the 26th or prior to that, if I remember correctly. So April 26th. So if you held it, obviously leading into that date, then yes, you qualify for this whole spin-off company whenever that does happen. But if you are buying after that, this is where I personally feel, once again, it boils down to the price that you bought it at, because the only advantage now for HCMC is that whole lawsuit, because I haven't seen any news or any rumors about them trying to sell any of their intellectual property, such as the qcup, even the vape store, vitamin store. Like, a lot of them technically did make some pretty good money, and the profits were pretty, on a percentage basis, were far exceeding the grocery chain. So when it comes down to it though, yeah, HCMC could have some potential value if they decide to sell some of these assets that they do have, but I don't think management is on top of that. And similarly, when it comes down to some of their latest updates, for SEC filings, they have, looks like management has just been completely dumping their shares based on all of these Form 4s. So all of these Form 4s are management selling. So kind of sucks. This is the name of the game, and I've already done videos on this in the past, how management is equivalently just jumping ship, which, like I said, going back to this tweet, is HCMC dead? Technically, no, because of the whole patent lawsuit, and that still could result in something fairly good about the patent infringement, I mean. But if you are investing in the fundamental business and you are new to HCMC, I personally feel that for all intents and purposes, I don't really want to hold a stock that is potentially going to get a settlement from Philip Morris maybe a year or two down the line, or potentially even longer, or might not ever come, right? And once again, it comes down to what price did you buy it at. If you bought it at 0001, then still you could stand to lose a lot of money. There's still a lot of kind of gray areas up in the air, and even about the whole spinoff, that is kind of problematic in among itself, because based on their initial projections, they did say Q2, if not at the very latest, early Q3. And despite them even coming out with news saying that they are postponing it, so meaning pushing it back, they haven't really given any update whatsoever. And unfortunately, this has been one thing that I've been saying for quite some time, is that based on all applications, I do not see anything to the New York Stock Exchange. So not to say HCMC is lying or anything like that, but that's one thing that they've said, and I've unfortunately called them out on it from the get-go, is that they do not qualify, in my opinion, for the New York Stock Exchange. So I do feel that they can easily go down or up to the NASDAQ, but of course they're doing a spin-off, and all depends on price point. Based on their initial projections, I do feel that they said it was initial price up to $10. So based on that, they could qualify for the NASDAQ based on their revenue and what they have. But as it stands right now, they do not qualify, under my opinion at least, for the New York Stock Exchange. And I've already done videos on kind of the qualifications on that in the past, so I can try and link those in the description below. So like I said, going back to these two tweets, yes, it is a fairly good lotto play if you are investing in HCMC for this whole patent infringement. But as far as focusing on the expanding business, technically not so much. And is HCMC dead? Partially, yes and no. So I just wanted to quickly talk on those 2 points and all the other fun jazz that's been happening. I've been covering HCMC for quite some time. Like I said, I think the last video I've been doing or did do was in June. So still it's on my radar, not necessarily to buy, just looking for updates from management, but they are, I don't know if they're just focusing more on HCWC or whatever else it might be. So yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying over the last little bit, and potentially what price. Because like I said, it could be a fairly good lotto play, but if you get in at 0001, you could stand to lose a fair share. Vice versa, if you catch in at the low, then yeah, that's a fairly good amount. I would feel fairly safe, if you want to call it that. And that is definitely a pretty good lotto play. So once again, that's just my own interpretation. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, even though HCMC is going up, down, sideways, all over the place, take advantage of promos, and that is with Moomoo. Completely free to open up an account, but if you throw $100 at it, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, and you also get a $50 cash reward. So this is one of the best deals that you can get out in the market. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching.